What is up, gamer girls and gamer boys? It's me, Put McGee here, back with another Magic the Gathering deck tech and gameplay video. Before we jump into the deck, I'd like to encourage you to visit my sponsor, me. Go ahead and type www.realfakedoors.com in the comments below and see where that gets you. Without further ado, let us jump into the deck. So today we are playing Esper Historic Flash. Now this deck is basically an Esper control deck, but it's centered around the mechanic of Raff, Capashen, Ship's Mage. Now Raff Capashen is a 4-mana, 3/3 flyer with Flash, and he's a legendary creature who makes historic spells I can cast them as though they had Flash. So this is really great because sagas are historic, planeswalkers are historic, and there are also historic sorceries from Dominaria that are going to be very, very useful for us in this deck. For instance, we can play Teferi, a legendary planeswalker, at the end of our opponent's turn, which allows us to just make sure that if he does get countered, we can also then play again on our turn. So this is actually very helpful. Of course, the only downside to this is if we play a planeswalker at the end of our opponent's turn, we do have to wait until our turn in order to use their abilities, but usually that's okay because it is advantageous for us to wait until the end of their turn in order to play them. This also protects them from getting attacked. If the opponent has already declared attackers at me, the player, instead of a planeswalker, I can then play my Teferi after that and then keep them on the field for one turn. So that can be pretty helpful. The legendary sorceries that we're going to be playing are Yawgmoth's Vile Offering and Urza's Ruinous Blast. Now, Yawgmoth's Vile Offering is you put up to one target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Then you destroy up to one target creature or planeswalker. Then you exile Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. So of course we can only cast this once because immediately it gets exiled, but it's very, very nice. Basically, if something of ours gets removed, or in fact we remove a creature or planeswalker from our opponent, we can then put that back onto the field from graveyard, and then we can destroy one of their threats, whether that's planeswalker or a creature. Now, we can also play this on their turn when we have Raff Capashen on the field. Sometimes we'll actually want to play this on our own turn, but usually if we have Raff Capashen on the field, we're going to be playing this on the opponent's turn, usually in like the attack step. When the opponent has declared attackers, we can put up a blocker and remove one of their creatures. So this is really nice. We also play Urza's Ruinous Blast, which is just a sweeper for everything that's not legendary. And since most of the permanents we control are going to be legendary, this doesn't really affect us. So we exile all non-land permanents that aren't legendary. So if we have Raff Capashen, we can play that on our opponent's turn, and we keep Raff Capashen, we keep our Eldest Reborn if we have one, we keep our Planeswalkers and our Nezahal if we get that on the field. And speaking of Nezahal, this is our primary win con. If we aren't bringing back the opponent's creatures with Eldest Reborn or Yawgmoth's Vile Offering, we can just kill them with Nezahal. He's just a big creature, and he can't be countered, and this draws us cards when he's on the field, because whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, we draw a card. We can also keep him alive by discarding cards. If somebody tries to exile him, we can discard 3 cards and exile him, and then return him to the battlefield tapped under our control at the beginning of the next end step. So this is very nice, but we have to get there. We have to be able to cast this guy. And he costs 7 mana, so it's not easy. So that's why we really have to play this in a control shell. That's why we play a lot of removal and a lot of sweepers and things, like Urza's Ruinous Blast is a nice sweeper, and Eldest Reborn is excellent. Again, this is a historic spell because it's a saga, and we can cast it on the opponent's turn, which is amazing, honestly. It's really nice to cast in the attack phase. Once we have seen what the opponent's going to do, we can remove one of their creatures. Of course, this lets them sacrifice, lets them choose what to sacrifice, but sometimes that's nice, because if a Carnage Tyrant is on the field, we don't have very many ways to deal with that, and Eldest Reborn does. So this is really great, and it eventually will get us back something from the graveyard if it stays on the board. We also run 2 Kai's Wrath just as another sweeper. We need something in turn 4 that we can cast without Raff Capashen. Because sometimes we play Raff Capashen and he gets killed. That's going to happen occasionally. So we also need things that we can play that are not historic. So Kaya's Wrath is excellent. It's a turn 4 sweeper. We also play 3 Mortifies because sometimes we have enchantments that we need to deal with, but most of the time we're going to be using this to destroy creatures. We also play 1 copy of Profane Procession. This is also very good because it is a legendary enchantment. We can play this on the opponent's turn. but it also just allows us to exile creatures, and then we can put them back on the field once we've exiled 3 or more. Once we've exiled 3, this transforms into a land that we can use to put those creatures back onto the field. So this is really nice. We also run 2 Kaya, Orzhov Usurper. This is really good because in the early game, or in the mid game, I mean, we can use this to make sure we stay alive. This gets rid of token creatures because her -1 exiles target non-land permanent with converted mana cost 1 or less, and we can use her +1 to exile up to 2 creature cards from a single graveyard. We gain 2 life for at least 1 creature card exiled this way. The one catch for this is that we don't want to be exiling sometimes we don't want to exile their best creatures because we do have Eldest Reborn and Yawgmoth's Vile Offering that are going to be bringing creatures back from the graveyard, and sometimes we want to bring back our opponent's creatures to give us a nice meaty board. So usually we'd be exiling threats from their graveyard, but sometimes we want to play this just cautiously. Depends on how we're feeling. If we need to gain some life, yes. If we need to, we're playing like say we're playing Golgari and they have a lot of ways to bring creatures back, we probably want to just exile creatures from the graveyard and not really worry about our Eldest Reborn coming later. We also just play early and mid-game removal, like Absorb is really nice, counter target spell and we gain 3 life. This helps us stay alive. We have 2 Sealaways, 2 Negates, 1 Search for Azcanta because we'll need this near the end of the game to get our Yawgmoth's Vile Offering, to get our Teferi, and to get Urza's Ruinous Blast and things like that we need. We also run 2 Moment of Craving and 2 Fountain of Renewal. Moment of Craving is really nice because it lets us get over the aggro. There's a lot of aggro decks right now, and this removes a creature, and basically it removes small creatures and gains us 2 life, which is really nice. We also run Fountain of Renewal just because we need that life gain, and then once we stop needing the life gain, we can just sacrifice this to draw a card, so that's really great. We do run 2 Negates because sometimes we want to negate an opponent's counterspell, or sometimes we want to negate things like Eldest Reborn, or just any kind of removal that the opponent has. Like if we're playing another control deck, especially Grixis, that's going to make us discard a lot of cards, we want to have a negate ready to stop them from doing that. Anything else? Oh yes, we do run 3 Chemister's Insight because sometimes we just want to draw cards, and this is a really good way to do it. I think that's it. Our mana base right now is pretty bad just because I don't have all the rares, I don't have all the shock lands and the buddy lands, but I will say, I'm going to leave the mana base up to you to sort out if you're going to play this deck. At the end of this video, I'll probably talk about a couple of ways we can tweak this to make it maybe better, or just change up a few of the mechanics. And without further ado, I think that's it. Let's go ahead and jump into some gameplay. Alrighty folks, this is game 1, and we are ready for a fight. Okay, this is actually a pretty good hand. We can play Azorius Guildgate first turn, and then into a Swamp and a Drowned Catacomb. It's not amazing because we don't have any early game removal, but we do have a Kaya, and we do have some Chemister's Insights to draw us cards in the mid game. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this. And we just have to kind of hope we don't get run down by an aggro deck before we can actually put things onto the board. Alrighty, this is looking very okay because we do have a Mortify now, and we can play Kaya or Orzhov Usurper next turn, unless they put down any serious threats. Alright, opponent, Hallowed. Crame. Okay, yeah, this is looking like maybe Vampire Tribal. I'm going to go ahead and play Kaya Orzhov Usurper now just to get her onto the field. We can plus her even though there's nothing in graveyards to discard. She still gets a +1, and the Dusk Legion Zealot can attack and we don't really care. Ooh, okay, so we discard 2 cards. I'm thinking maybe we just discard 2 Chemister's Insights because we can still cast those. And we want to keep everything else in our hand. Yeah, I don't see anything else I want to discard. I don't want to discard Nezahal, and I don't want to discard either of these, because these are removal that we're going to need.
You have to do better than that.
Okay, that's actually pretty good. Let me think. So I could mortify this guy and then exile him to gain some life. But I don't think we really need to gain any life right now. I'm going to hang on. I'm just going to exile that card and then pass the turn. I'm hoping to get a land next turn so I can cast Eldest Reborn. That would be really nice. I want to keep a Mortify up for a more substantial threat. Yes, Twilight Prophet is something we want to mortify. So let's go ahead and do that. Before they do anything else, we'll just go ahead and kill that. And pray that we draw a land. Yeah, he's going to keep on pinging my Kaya, and that's really completely okay, I think. This will absorb some damage for us and let us survive to the end game.
I'm not dead yet.
Okay, Seal Away is not a bad draw. It's not ideal. It's not bad at all. I'm a little worried about leaving this in the graveyard. Of course, this is something we want to keep because we want to bring it back with Eldest Reborn. But they could potentially get it. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to play a little bit greedy and leave that in the graveyard. Okay, there's a Dusk Legion Zealot. We're not worried about that at all. I may discard a Seal Away. Okay. That's a little spicier than I like. Conclave Tribunal. Huh. Okay, so they're getting rid of my Kaya, I assume. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to do. So I'm going to go ahead and discard my Seal Away to draw some cards, and hopefully we can pull an Eldest... Yeah, a land. So we can play Eldest Reborn. We are going to have to shock this in, which is a little bit unfortunate. Ooh. So Mortify is nice to get rid of the Conclave Tribunal, but we don't need to do that right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. We want to speed our way to getting that Twilight Prophet onto our side of the field. We are going to take a little damage here, but I'm not too worried about that. Vanquisher's Banner is unfortunate. And we don't... Okay, so we take 6 damage, which is bad. That's bad. But they discard a card. We're almost able to cast Nezahal. But I think I'm going to... Dang. I think I can't destroy the Vanquisher's Banner. But I can destroy the Conclave Tribunal and get my Kaya back. I guess I could have just killed a Legion Lieutenant. But I think it's better to just do this. We'll exile that. Gain 2 life. And I'm just hoping that they can't kill me this turn. I don't see any way they could. But it's possible. Now this is a deck that could also be playing Mortify, and they could definitely destroy our Eldest Reborn, but they don't. Alinda the Dusk Rose is not ideal, but it's really not that big of a deal. They're going to kill my Kaya, which is fine. Gosh, that's really okay. In here we can get back... Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, so... This is great. Okay, I get back their Twilight Prophet, and I can play Nezahal Primal Tide. So we have very nice blockers on the field. The one problem is that their Alinda is going to start getting big here if they attack and their creatures die. Conclave Tribunal, probably on the Nezahal, if I had to guess. Yikes. Okay. Sanctum Seeker, that's bad news. Okay, well, we'll just block one of these puppies. So the Twilight Prophet stays alive, and we're going to gain a little life from it this turn. Oh, that's really good, actually. Okay. Do we want to... I think we just let that come in tapped. We can't really afford to pay 2 life right now. Whew, this is kind of bad news. Bad news bears. Ooh, can we possibly survive next turn? They have at least... No, we can't. We die. We lose. Unless I can... gonna pass turn. I don't think there's a way for me to not lose this turn, because they're gonna play Sanctum Seeker here, and I have to draw a... I'm gonna have to draw an Absorb in order to, like, not die immediately, and we just lose. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and concede that. Ouch. Ouch. Man, they kept on having removal for my my stuff, which was not very cool. Okay. That's fine, that's fine. We'll go ahead and jump into another game and see how this one goes. Hopefully better than the last. Okay, we're game 2 here against the Noble One. Again, this is actually a decent hand, because what we can do is we can play a Fountain of Renewal turn 1. The only problem is that we're going to have to wait because we only have a Dimir Guildgate. That's our only black source right now. So we can play Fountain of Renewal, start gaining life, but we don't have Moment of Craving ready for turn 2. But we do have our Raff Capashen, finally. We didn't even see it last game. So this is quite nice. We are going to need to draw a little more land in order to cast him. Okay, so they're slow playing here, which is good. We can play that, and we'll be ready to play Raff Capashen next turn with our Isolated Chapel. Druid of the Cowl, not a problem. Okay, so this looks like a nice little soul tie. Drowned Catacomb is a really nice draw. So I'm going to wait because Raff Capashen has flash, and so if they attack with Druid of the Cowl, which would be not very smart. Okay, not a big deal. We go ahead and play Raff Capashen now, and then we can... Okay, the problem here, this is not great. Because Urza's Ruinous Blast doesn't get rid of Prime Speaker Vannifar. But if they... I'm assuming they're going to sacrifice the Druid of the Cowl for her ability. Oh boy, okay. That's not very good. That's actually very bad. So what we're going to do is, before this resolves, I'm going to go ahead and play... Yeah, because the problem is, if I let him die, I can't play Yawgmoth's Vile Offering anymore. But I also don't get the function of this. Dang, this really sucks. But I think I kind of just have to let it happen, though. Because if I use this, I don't get half of the function of it, or half of the ability, because there's nothing in graveyards yet, and she's going to use her ability to sacrifice probably Ravenous Chupacabra and get something big. I think I just let it resolve. That's not very good at all. That's pretty bad. Okay. So yeah, then she sacrifices Ravenous Chupacabra to get maybe like a Doom Whisperer or something. Oh, Biogenic Ooze. Before they do anything, I'm going to go ahead and kill the Biogenic Ooze. It still makes a creature token, another Ooze token, but it doesn't do anything too bad. And I think I'm also going to go ahead and sacrifice my Fountain of Renewal to draw a card, because we need to get rolling here. Search for Azcanta is not terrible. It doesn't... So one thing you will learn if you try to do this kind of thing is legendary enchantments, though they're historic... or though they're legendary, they don't allow you to cast legendary sorceries. Legendary sorceries you can only cast if you control a legendary creature or planeswalker. It's not just a legendary permanent. I thought that at one point a long time ago. Of course, I'm way smarter now. Ooh, I can also seal away their Prime Speaker Vannifar, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do that now before they can use this ability again. Because it's tapped now, and so I think this is probably the smart move. It doesn't leave them with much on the board. Vampire Sovereign, eh? That's an interesting choice for this deck. Ooh, can I cast it? Yes, I can. I'm gonna go ahead and play Kaya's Wrath. Wipe their board, and then move on. Okay, so that was actually a very nice top deck. Another thing, Another reason Search for Azcanta is so good, because it allows us to filter cards when we're like, we need something specific. Yes, please. This will, okay. If Kaya sticks around until next turn, this is going to allow us to cast Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. I'm going to get rid of... I'm going to want the Biogenic Ooze, so I'm going to get rid of you and you. And just, I'm hoping they don't have a find to bring back their own Biogenic Ooze. So that'd be a shame. Repudiate. Interesting. Okay, so they countered that ability. Ravenous Chupacabra. And a really interesting choice. I think I'll keep that in my library. I'm going to go ahead and play Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. Yep, this is very nice. So we go Biogenic Ooze, and then we destroy you. And then I can use Kaya's ability to exile their Llanowar Elves. With a nice little cosmetic skin there. Yeah, and they concede. Okay. They... I guess they just realized they were toast. Yeah, that... Ooh, I'm sorry. It shook the camera. That was a nice play. We top decked pretty well in that one, so that was a good showing. Let's see if we can actually get our Raff Capashen combo. Every time we play him, he seems to get killed. And that's not very nice, because I want to show you how spicy the Raff Capashen with historic spells combo is. It's so nice if you can land it. Sometimes you can land it and you still end up losing just because the opponent has too much power on the board. Now this is game 3 for anyone who's keeping up. This is a very weird hand. I think I'm going to keep it just because I have one of each basic land. We still can't cast Absorb because we're going to need another blue source, but I'm going to keep this. We are on the draw, so that's nice in this scenario. That's not the best draw. I'm going to go ahead and play the island. Presence of the Master. So there, looks like they're playing Jeskai. So even if we don't have another blue source... Oh, I should have played an island, or plains there, I mean. So, oh, this looks like Jeskai Historic, which can be very cool. I'm going to go play Profane Procession now, while I have the chance. Jeskai Historic is very fun. Not actually that good of an archetype, but it's pretty fun. So maybe they're just doing Jeskai artifacts. Okay, that's unfortunate. They're making themselves a few Thopters there. Okay, I'm not worried about what they've got on the board. The terrible thing is that I don't have enough mana for this, I don't have the right kind of mana for this, and I don't have mana for any of these yet. We do have a Negate, so if they play anything, like if they play a Teferi right here, nope, no Teferi. I'm gonna hold on to this. This is a decent draw because we can get rid of Sai, Master Thopterist, deploy. I can negate that, or I can just kill Sai. I think I'm just gonna kill him. Now they have 4 Thopters, but that's not the end of the world. We have ways to get rid of those, sort of. Yeah, this is a interesting like artifact aggro deck almost. Kind of strange. Kind of like it though. Okay, so there's a land that doesn't allow us to cast anything except Eldest Reborn, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So we still end up taking 3 damage this turn, on their turn. But we have something on the board now. We have something we can do. Okay, Dovin Grand Arbiter is bad. That's pretty bad. Yeah, so he's gonna get a lot of loyalty counters, and then he can use his ultimate next turn. Ooh. Our Teferi is pretty nice. Problem with this is that if we use Teferi to put him back in their deck, I probably should just play Teferi and use... Ooh, they have a Negate, don't they? No? No Negate. Okay, I got a little scared there because they do have 2 mana ready. I'm going to just draw a card. I'm going to use his plus so they can't immediately remove Teferi. This is probably the most helpful thing. And we want to have a Negate ready for their removal if they draw something. Because he can look at the top 10 cards and just take 3 of them into the hand, which is incredible. It's such a good ability. And you can get that the second turn you, the turn after you play him, which is nice. Not nice for us, it's nice for them. It's not good for us. Okay, good news is we can bring back their Dovin, or we can bring back their Sai, though we're probably going to want to get their Dovin with Eldest Reborn. Okay, let's see what they have now. I wonder if they attack me or they attack Teferi, which is pretty okay. Sai Master Thopterist, which we're not too concerned about. Do we negate Treasure Map? I kind of think we negate Treasure Map. Do we though? Do we really? Ooh. I think we let that resolve. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get Dovin back. We will minus him because we need to gain a little life, and we create a blocker. Oh, I didn't mean to pay 2 life on that. I just clicked the wrong button. Though, of course, I could play Kaya's Wrath now and kill everything, even though I just made our own creature, though that would help us gain 1 more life. I'm going to go ahead and draw a card, do this first, see what we get. I'm probably just going to play Yawgmoth's Vile Offering, because we can destroy their Sai and get back Sai Master Thopterist of our own. Yeah, let's do this. We'll get back Sai Master Thopterist and we'll destroy theirs. So we swap, basically. And then, ooh, yeah, we can actually play an Absorb this turn. So I guess it was probably good that I played this tapped, or untapped, I mean, and paid the 2 life, because now we can play Absorb. It did put me in kind of a risky position here. Okay, that's fine. Who are they going to kill, though? What is my Teferi? My Teferi's at 3. I guess I'll let that resolve. I feel like I have more important things to use Absorb on. Maybe I'm being greedy. So they kill my Teferi, which is a bummer, but not the end of the world.
Only time will tell.
Yeah, there we go. Now we absorb. They shocked in a land, though? Okay, I was hoping they didn't have a Spell Pierce, because that would have been unfortunate. Okay, we get a Plains. We could Kaya's Wrath, but I think I'm going to... That would be interesting. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to +1, because I want to keep my Dovin around. And then I'm going to attack with both of these. So I get him to 5. So I want to get him to his ultimate basically pretty soon. And then if I play Kaya's Wrath, I can't immediately play Eldest Reborn, which is kind of lame. Maybe I don't do this. Maybe I do. I think I play Kaya's Wrath. I sweep the board, and I gain 2 life. I have a Negate also, so if they try to play another Dovin or like a Teferi or something, I don't know if this deck plays Teferi. I think it's more of like a Thopter aggro. So, Joyra, Weatherlight Captain. So they do play Joyra. Okay. Yeah, there's the Dovin. I negate that. They still draw a card from Joyra. But this turn, I can play Eldest Reborn and kill that little girl. So let's do this. I think I'm just gonna -1 because I need something on the field in order to actually make his +1 worthwhile. And I have an Absorb ready, and they can see. Okay. Whew. That one was a little scary early on because they were able to fill up the board. I think playing the... I think the Kai's Wrath when I did it was a good choice. I was a little bit worried that I wasn't going to be able to build up my board again, but I think that was the good choice, a good choice to make. Okay, so we're gonna go play game number 4 now. If you're keeping up, we are 2-1 so far. Both times our opponent has conceded fairly early because they realized they kind of ran out of steam, which is kind of how the deck works. I mean, it's control. It's control, so we want to remove as much as possible. Opponent goes first. We don't have blue. We don't have a blue source yet. We are on the draw, though. I think I'm going to keep this because we can, even if we don't draw another land, we can play Kaya on turn 3. And I'm going to assume we're going to draw a land by our 3rd turn, hopefully. Hopefully. Diregraph Ghoul. Okay, Azorius Guildgate, yes please. Okay, that was a good draw because now we have a blue source and we can play Kai's Wrath on turn 4 if things get a little scary, which they might. This could be like a zombie skeleton, almost like aggro, like tribal thing. Yeah, so they got Gutter Bones. They're almost definitely going to have a, oh, what's it called? The zombie wizard, man. I can't remember. We're going to see it here in a second, I think. No, resummoning skeleton. Okay. The one, he's a zombie wizard and he makes, whatever, he makes your skeleton strong. I think I'm going to play Kaya Orzhov Usurper now, so she can get killed this turn, but what I'm going to do is just exile Gutterbones, because Gutterbones is a threat that they can continue to get back into their hand, even if we kill it, so we want to just erase it. And this does redirect a little bit of damage to Kaya instead of ourself. Okay, so they're not killing Kaya yet. They may have a Vraska's Contempt. They're on 4 mana, so they could Vraska's Contempt Kaya, but they're probably just thinking Kaya's not that big of a threat right now. Okay, so I'm going to do this, and now I have a Raff Capashen to flash in as a blocker. So I'm just going to use her plus... Ooh, wait, cancel. I'm going to... I guess the smart move is to exile the Diregraph Ghoul. Yeah, that prevents the most heartache. And we can flash in Raff Capashen as a blocker. And then that allows us next turn to play the Eldest Reborn with Flash on the opponent's turn. So hopefully we can get off the Raff Capashen Eldest Reborn combo before the opponent concedes. I'm a little bit worried they're just going to concede once they see this, because we do have card advantage and we've been able to remove everything. But they might be able to kill Raff Capashen once he hits the board. So we block, we keep our Kaya alive, and I think he's gonna die. Vicious Offering, okay. So he's dead. They bring Resummoning Skeleton back, so we can still play Eldest Reborn. I don't know if I want to particularly. I really wish I had a Yawgmoth's Vile Offering right now. That would be better. I'm going to give her a +1 and exile that. Doesn't make too much difference, but this does keep her alive a little bit longer. And I think I just wait and I play Chemister's Insight. I want to draw into something better than what I've got right now. Like, I've got removal, but they can keep on getting back their reassembling skeleton. Maybe the smart move was to just play Eldest Reborn, and that would slow them down, and then we could eventually get back our Raff Capashen. But I'm greedy. Yeah, we let that happen, and we see what they've got here. Gutter Bones, okay. I'm a little bit confused why they didn't attack Kaya there. Okay, so we drew a Teferi. I could play... Let's see. Okay, if I play Teferi, I can have an Absorb at the ready. I can also just exile their Gutter Bones. So, they can definitely kill Kaya this turn, unless I draw instant speed removal.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
Raff Capashen. Okay, that's a good draw, but I can't play him this turn. So I just make sure I have mana for Absorb. Okay. They're apparently just going for damage. They're not even worried about Kaya. Fraying Omnipotence. Each player loses half their life, then discards half the cards in their hand, then sacrifices half the creature they control round up each time. We'll absorb that. We don't like Fraying Omnipotence. I mean, it doesn't hurt them. It really only just hurts us. So, I mean, yeah, they concede. Okay. Okay. I wanted that to be the last game I played, but I'm going to play one more just so I can try to hit the combo. And actually play some things on the opponent's turn with my Raff Capashen. So I'm going to keep playing, and maybe I'll have to cut up this video a little bit to try to make it be time sensitive, but also actually show you the combo. So here we go. We're gonna jump into a game 5 and see how this goes. Okay, we keep this hand. It has all 3 of our basic lands. It has an Absorb, it has early removal, it has Fountain of Renewal. This is actually pretty good. So I'm going to play the island first. Because we want to get to our Absorb as fast as possible. Yep, so we play Fountain of Renewal. This will hopefully, if this is some kind of aggro, this will allow us to stay alive for a little bit longer. Okay, Overgrown Tomb. Hey, that's nice. So we can go ahead and play Search for Azcanta now. And maybe that'll help us get to our lands we need for Absorb. Growth Chamber Guardian. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so we don't have our... all of our mana yet, but we have an Absorb at the ready for something spicy to come down here. So they may just adapt. Yeah, that makes sense. They go ahead and adapt. Once they attack, we can... I think I'll seal away. That seems like a smart move. Go ahead and keep our damage, keep our health high while we can. Oh, perfect. Perfect. So, next turn we can play an Eldest Reborn. We probably won't have to because I'm just going to counter probably whatever they play. Well, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll let a Growth Chamber Guardian hit the field this turn because they won't be able to adapt it immediately, and then I can just kill it. Yeah, so we allow this, we let this come down, and then we go to our turn. The only problem now is that I think I graveyard that. Hope to get something better. There's another Absorb. We'll go Eldest Reborn now. Sack their creature. The problem now is that our Absorbs aren't doing us any good because we don't have the mana up for it. So they can play something big like a Vivian Reed maybe. Tindershoot Dryad. Well, it's not the end of the world, but it's not very good. Well, let's resolve all. Let's see what we can get. Okay, that is very good. That's what we want. And then we force them to discard a card. They're almost at, we'll go ahead and pass the turn. I'm hoping they attack with Tindershoot Dryad. If they're smart, they won't, because they'll know we have something like Seal Away, because they already know we're playing a Seal Away in this deck. So they probably won't attack with Tindershoot Dryad. They're just going to probably try to get to Ascendance. Blanchwood Armor. That'll be... Yeah, that'll make them ascend, so we don't really want them to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and absorb that. I wanted to play Raff Capashen, but that's just too much damage. Too much damage. Find... Okay, well that sucks. So, Eldest Reborn is going to do us no good. Ooh, why are they dumb? Okay. I really wish I had... graveyard that. Dang. Okay, this is unfortunate. I was hoping to get like a... something off the top to bring back with Eldest Reborn, so that's bad. It's pretty lame. Okay, so here's a big question is, do I could just go ahead and mortify their Tindershoot Dryad. But I think I wanna, because that'll stop them from getting another Saproling. But I think I pass and, yeah, see if they attack, and then I can block with Raff Capashen. So we're at 26 health, so they haven't done too much damage to us. Okay. I'll allow it. Llanowar Elves, not a problem. I really want them to attack with Tindershoot Dryad. Incubation Druid, again, not a problem. We'll allow it. Pass 2 attackers. Dang. Okay. So they're smart this turn. They're smart this turn. And this doesn't do... I can take 9 damage. I'm not going to use him as a blocker for a Saproling. The problem is, if I play him now, and then I draw Kaya's Wrath, that's kind of boo-boo. Because I don't want to kill him. But I'm going to play him anyway. Resolve. Fountain of Renewal. We graveyard that. We don't need that. Perfect. Yawgmoth's Vile Offering is pretty nice. But again, we don't have anything to bring back. Okay. I think the smart move is just to kill the Tindershoot Dryad. Because that makes these guys weak. We'll go ahead and kill you. And then we don't attack, so we want to hold him up as a blocker. They're probably just going to adapt the Tindershoot, or adapt the Incubation Druid, and then play Growth Chamber Guardian. But the good news is, next turn we can play Yawgmoth's Vile Offering and bring back a Tindershoot Dryad of our own and kill their big ol' Incubation Druid. I guess they could just attack with Incubation Druid. Yeah, they probably attack here. Attack all, huh? Okay, I'll block the Llanowar Elves and I take 8 damage, which is bad, but it's not the end of the world. They're playing pretty aggressive. Another Llanowar Elves. Alright. Ooh. I kind of want this. I pass turn. So once they go to attack, I'll use Yawgmoth's Vile Offering to kill their Incubation Druid, and then I can bring back a Tindershoot Dryad. I'm still gonna take some damage, but I don't really care all that much. So we pass 2 attackers. And now we're going to actually do it. This is the combo. This is the thing. So we play a sorcery. We're able to play a sorcery on their turn, which is wonderful. So we put Tendershoot Dryad, and then we kill Incubation Druid. Boom, boom. And then and I know they don't have any combat tricks in their hand, so I can risk blocking with all of these. We still take 3 damage. And they play Growth Chamber Guardian, and they can adapt them immediately and get another Growth Chamber Guardian into their hand. We're not worried about it. We don't care, because our Tendershoot Dryad's about to start making us some beefy little saprolings. Okay. I think we graveyard that, because that'll transform our Azcanta. Yes, please. Another Yawgmoth Vial Offering. That's amazing. Okay. Okay, yeah, perfect. Okay, so we can get back their Incubation Druid, and we can kill their Growth Chamber Guardian. This is wonderful. Okay, we pass the turn. We create another Saproling blocker. Beautiful. Yes, sirree. They're top decking a lot of lands, which is a bummer, but they do have this. Yeah, we resolve. We're going to let them attack us. I love playing sorceries on the opponent's turn. Pass 2 attackers. Yep. Yep, okay. They're going whole hog. I think we're going to double block this guy. Then I can block all of these. I wouldn't be surprised if they go ahead and concede here. There's not a whole lot they can do to bring this back. They have no cards in their hand. They have nothing on the field, and there we go. There was the combo. We finally got it. We finally got Raff, Capashen, and we played Yawgmoth's Vial Offering on their turn, which is so beautiful. It's so nice. I cannot tell you how nice that feels to just be able to just terrorize your opponent with little cheeky mechanics. Wonderful. Let's go take a look at the deck. I may not actually include this part of the video, so here we go. Esper Historic Flash. Things we can change. We probably, if we want to make this actually good, you probably want more Urza's Ruinous Blast. It's just really nice. Sometimes this is a problem because it doesn't get rid of the opponent's Planeswalkers, because those are going to be all legendary. But you do want more of these to sweep the board and keep your own creatures around, because Kai's Wrath will kill your Raff, Capashen, and that's just no good. Other things we can change. Profane Procession is not always super helpful, so we may want to substitute something else for this. Again, you might want to switch this out for another Urza's Ruinous Blast, or maybe even another Mortify just as basic removal. You can also play more or less Nezahals. You can play like Azorius Lawbringer or something like that as like a win con. We never ended up killing the opponent with Nezahal in those games. I did in some practice games. Nezahal kind of came through for me. You could go more or less Teferi. There are a lot of ways you can change this. You may also, another thing you could probably do to make this a little better is play Duress. Duress is really nice, especially against other control decks, because you can get rid of their non-creature, non-land threats from their hand before they ever cast them. Like, if you want to get rid of their counterspells, if you want to get rid of their removal, you want to get rid of Thought Erasure, which is a big problem for us. You just play Duress and you say, oh, Thought Erasure, you can't use that now. So, Duress is really nice. Other than that, let me know what things you would change in the comments below. If you liked this video, smash like on that. If you want to see more from me, hit the old subscribe button. And that is all, folks. Eat some more egg yolks. I didn't like that.